I want to turn to our House Republican who's joining us now, Luke Messer. He is the chairman of the GOP Policy Committee. Chairman Messer, thanks so much for spending some time with us. I know it's intense right now there on Capitol Hill. Right now, we know weeks ago you wanted debate on this bill. You wanted the Senate to change it and then send it back. Now, here it is. Why are your colleagues standing in its way?
Well, I mean, from the House perspective, we voted to both fund the Department of Homeland Security and stop the president's unconstitutional overreach. I literally just stepped off the House floor, but we voted now to send the bill to conference. We believe that's the best way to try to resolve our differences. I'm hopeful here in just a few minutes, or at least within the next hour or so, we will be able to pass a 3-week extension that gives us the ability to have that debate. You know, the House passed our legislation 6 weeks ago. It took the Senate over 5 weeks to get it off the floor. I think it's reasonable to give us a little more time to try to work through our differences.
Why not pass a clean bill like the Senate just did, though? I mean, isn't the Department of Homeland Security important enough to say we all agree funding needs to be there for this crucial part of our government?
Well, I absolutely believe we need to fund the Department of Homeland Security. That's why I voted for legislation that will do both fund the Department of Homeland Security and try to stop the president's executive overreach. As you know, a federal court judge has said that the president is operating outside the bounds of the law, and it doesn't seem unreasonable to me at all that we would not fund activities that seem to be in legal question here. What I hope we're able to do, we've just voted to go to conference within the next hour. I'm hopeful we'll be able to have that 3-week extension that will keep the Department of Homeland Security open. I think the Senate Democrats are going to be in a very difficult position if they think that somehow they can play games here and stop any further debate. If they're the ones that shut the government down because they don't support that extension, I think they will have a very difficult time doing that.
Pull back the curtain for us. During that recess, what was the discussion? What were the big concerns?
You have to ask your question again. I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
In terms of that recess, the conference that some of the Republican leaders just called, what were the concerns? Can you tell us a little bit about the discussion happening? Give us some insight into your mind.
Yeah, I mean, the belief on our side is that we have a couple different responsibilities here. One is we want to make sure the Department of Homeland Security stays open. And secondly, we have a responsibility to defend the Constitution. As you know, the president had said 22 different times that the actions he's taking now, that he didn't have the authority to do that. A federal district court judge said that as well. And so we believe that we have a responsibility to defend the Constitution against this overreach. The activities that the president has tried to put forward as executive order happen in the Department of Homeland Security. That's why these two issues have been tied together. I think we have an opportunity now to have a 3-week extension of the Department of Homeland Security to make sure that funding continues and we don't have a shutdown. And at the same time, continue debate on the executive orders of the president. During that time, the appellate court may rule, and we may have a better understanding of where this lies in the courts as well.
I know there's been question about whether this 3-week, this short-term funding bill is going to pass the House. How confident are you that this is going to happen before midnight?
Well, I certainly believe it needs to happen. I think a vote against this 3-week extension would frankly be a vote against continuing debate. Puts the Speaker in, I think, an impossible position. So I think now we're in the best spot that we can be, which is that we've now voted to go to conference and to have the continuance. It's my hope that that's what we'll see. We're working and whipping the votes. I can't give you a guess now as to where it will be, but I certainly hope that it will pass.
All right. Chairman Luke Messer, we appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
We have some breaking news right now out of Missouri. Police there are investigating a horrific crime. At least 9 bodies found in several different locations.